We call this a distracted society.
Yeah.
We saw something that was like on IG where this lady was like, if the devil wanted to take over a child's mind, how would they do it? And they said through a cell phone. Really, where we are now is that people live their lives through the lens of social media. We have the capacity to learn anything, but don't want to learn anything.
Stimulation like coffee, swear they ready to risk it. D&D if it's positive, never fail, they'll miss it. Entitlement, hypertension, accountable is deficient. Painted like I'm Da Vinci, but own it like my invention. I feel like I benefited when reading my brother's sentence.
Yo, welcome to another episode of One Goal Away. We bring you real insights on business, tech, and foundation of growth. We're not your average podcast. We're your blueprint to change. It's your boy, Coach Q, and I got my guy.
It's your boy, Joshua Monday, man. We excited, man. We are back to back this week with episodes, but it's a lot going on in the world. It's a lot going on with politics, business. There's a lot going on. Shannon Sharp today.
Club Shay.
Club Shay.
He got to put his phone up for a minute.
Hey, man, put his phone up, Shay. It is, it's crazy. But I really want to start with a conversation on capitalism. So in our last episode, somebody put in the comments, I saw in the comments, it was like, hey, can y'all talk about capitalism?
Okay.
I think we was talking about AI, and we talked a little bit about capitalism.
Yeah.
But I really want to dive into it because we have this trade war going on.
For sure.
We have these tariffs going on.
Yeah.
And now China, I feel like, is taking the veil off of everything and saying, hey, you all have, as Americans have been getting duped all this time where, hey, your wages are not going up, but everybody in your ecosystem is charging, continue to charge you more and more money, but your wages are not going up. Your cost of living is terrible. The quality of life is terrible. And do you feel like capitalism has gone too far?
That's a good question, bro. So that was a viral video. You saw the guy who talked about that?
Yes.
And he killed it. I think he killed it in such a way, and I think it was powerful hearing it from another angle.
Yeah.
Honestly, the angle of somebody that's capitalizing off of because I mean, like, he's like, yo, we gonna sell y'all, we gonna make our bread, but y'all don't see what's happening.
Yeah.
And obviously it's being said because it's a position. Obviously, it's a deeper thing that China's trying to do. For them to pull the veil off of what we're doing, obviously positions China in a way to make us second guess, the everything that we're bringing to the table. I do think capitalism has always been too far. Like, we got to be clear, but it's a double-edged sword because every continent, immigrants from across the world come to America for one reason or another.
The American dream.
Because it is the only place where your wages and your potential is not literally tapped. I mean, there's systematic things that make it more challenging for other people, obviously, but I feel like America is the only place where if you can go from $100 to $1 billion, and there's nothing necessarily in your way to do it. So from that lens, I think the plan of capitalism is working, but I think you got to go deeper so it started back with the radio. So advertising, it started with the radio. And I felt like at that point in time, even down to how they promoted cigarettes to us, right? But back then, here's why I think the impact of capitalism is affecting our children. It's affecting our sanity. It's affecting our health. It's making us question success. If we're doing it's so much right now that even if you're doing everything correctly, you still have this pressure and this feeling that I'm not doing enough because it's so competitive to compete, to keep up with everything that we see. And there's so much smoke and mirrors, it's hard to see, what's really happening. So I think from that lens, it's gone too far.
Yeah.
And then I think no human being should be worth $500 billion. I think, or possibly $1 trillion.
Yes.
I mean, that's a monarch. That ain't even capital. I mean, you're going to have back at the king, queens, and peasants at a period of time. And I feel like it's too much power, bro.
So here's the thing. So we have an idea. So we have a company, all right? And we're in America, and in America, it allows us to build this company as big as we wanted to build it, make as much money as we wanted to make it. So, like, what is the thing that's holding everybody? What's holding everybody back if we all have the same opportunity? So if Amazon, he was in his garage. He didn't start with a whole. I mean, he had some head starts. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
He had some head starts, but he had an idea.
Yeah.
He created this idea in his garage, and now it blew up to this. Like, is there somebody hitting the red button to say, okay, we're gonna blow up this thing as big as possible because it's a lot of fuel and money to it? Or we all have the same type of opportunity. It's just the distracted and the undistracted.
That's it. I think the red button is in the book called The Compound Effect.
Yeah.
And the red button is when things compound exponentially, it looks like some magic. It looked like somebody then threw something in there and gave you an unfair advantage because you have taken off and things just skyrocket. Now, that's not to say that you don't have your advantages. It's not to say that some people don't start the race a bit sooner than other people. But I think if you want to get to the core of why you see this big gap between it's risk tolerance, it's creativity and risk tolerance, a lot and distraction. So it's something you got distraction, which impacts people's creativity. Because think about it, in COVID, people were starting Amazon wholesale businesses, drop shipping, Airbnbs, box trucks. Now, shout out to everybody that's been successful in any of these. So no shade at all. I'm just saying all the different lanes. And so you will talk to a person, they're like, oh yeah, I got 2 box trucks. I'm about to start my drop shipping on Amazon. And all these things people was trying to do, and they didn't put enough energy behind one single thing. Their risk tolerance wasn't enough to navigate what was bound to happen. What was bound to happen is oversaturation. Oversaturation means you got more people providing services than need the services, which means you got to be better than those people or wait other people out until they realize it's too much and they move on. But if you don't give it that time, you just say, this didn't work, I jump here. This didn't work, I jump here. And so I think the risk tolerance into what it really takes to be a successful entrepreneur, because think about it, even like let's take the white, black, let's take all that out.
It's green.
Okay, let's go green.
Yeah.
So if I put in the work now, then my children are not going to start from zero, because I'm going to position, like my daughter, she's an entrepreneur. She's going to have advantages because her dad is an entrepreneur. Her dad can financially potentially help her kickstart businesses and ideas that she got. So that does provide a competitive advantage for her versus maybe some contemporaries that don't have that same situation. So if you look at like the Bezos and the Trumps, well, they had white wealth and they were positioned to do it. So that's why that, but you still got earn your leisure. You shout out to them. You still got all these black success stories that didn't come from those moments. They came from compounded, focused energy in one direction. They had the risk tolerance to do it, the creativity to do it, the timing to know when to do it. And honestly, everybody's not a leader, bro.
No, that's for sure. So it gets to the point of, we talk about responsibility. Yeah. So like whose responsibility is it where we're in America where there's no guardrails, right? So, all right, I can build my business as big as I want to. We're gonna all make all this money, but we don't have to increase wages at all. Like, minimum wage is $7.25. Still. Okay. With government is saying that, hey, we are not. I know that probably people won't get people to work for $7 now.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people are paying more, but you still got the option to pay that.
You still have that option to pay that amount of money. So now you always create this divide, and now it's getting bigger. And now with Trump in office and the acceleration of everything, because he's going to really deregulate everything, where's no guardrails. Because I feel like Biden then would always have the average middle-class person in mind. So they'll say, okay, we need to pump the brakes on this. We can't let you all go as fast as you want to go because we're going to leave all these people behind. And so now I feel like we're getting into the revolution portion of what we're going through because people are not making no money.
Yeah.
Okay. People ain't making no money. Wages are not growing. Industry, we don't make anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then we have AI that's coming along. So where do we stand? Are they setting this up for a minimum kind of like, hey man, we're gonna pay you $3,000 a month type of deal where nobody's really, because we don't have jobs at the end of the day.
I think so. I think you're right, and I think we are on the precipice of the end of capitalism.
Yeah.
Because I feel like so it's nobody. You said whose responsibility is it?
Yeah.
It's really everybody's responsibility collectively. It's like an honor system that you got to have in mind because you got to understand how the universe work, how the environments work, and everything plays off of other things. So not everything affects everything. Well, everything is interconnected. It's almost like your body. It would almost be like me, and I only pay attention to my legs, and I do leg day, or I don't pay attention to other parts of my body, but it's still all in my body. Eventually, the entire body suffers, and even those parts that I've been, focusing on, they will be impacted as well. So I think the rich will be impacted because if there's no middle class, there's no consumers, there's no customers. There's nobody to buy the product, the environment, the ecosystem, everything that they want to live and thrive in is going to be impacted as well. So I think that's what greed has taken the imbalance. It's too much of an imbalance.
Yeah, for sure.
But the problem is, how can you tell a person, the guy that's worth $500 billion what to do? Like, how do you scare? You can't. And when you allow a Donald Trump to be in office, what you've done is you put the business interest solely in government, and when you intermingle business and government on that level, then there really is no government no more. It's really just business now. And America has always been a business. Don't get it twisted, but now every decision is made from the lens of a corporation and a business without any people in mind. So we have an outdated system because we still going and voting and doing all these things, waiting on taxes that system is not even really functioning the way it's supposed to because none of that, you know what I'm saying? They keep Trump, they cut and slash whatever division, department in the government that they don't see that fits the agenda that they have in mind. So, I mean, I think it's just a lot of different factors. Capitalism it was beautiful, but it was a scam at the same. It was a dream sold at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
So I know you spoke on something. You blended it, but let's talk about really a distracted. We call this a distracted society.
Yeah.
And we saw something that was like on IG. I sent it to you this morning, where this lady was like, if the devil wanted to take over a child's mind, how would they do it? And they said through a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to feed you whatever you want to be fed all day long, and it's a dopamine, and it just rocks you to sleep all day long. And it's really rocking Kanye West, shout out to Kanye West. He having a hard time this week, but
all time is an understatement.
Probably about 7 years ago, he said, IG got your chick. He said, I don't got your chick. He said, IG got your chick. And really where we are now is that people live their lives through the lens of social media. Now, social media is not a bad thing. It's just all about how you utilize it, and you can't let it consume you in a way in which you're comparing yourself to somebody all day long, or you never feel like you up because, hey, oh man, I got a new watch. Oh, but Quan got that new rolly.
I got that AP fresh out Chinatown.
So it's like you get fed all of this all day long, and then you're feeding yourself all day long, but you're not focused in on your goals and what you have going on. So you look up 5 years from now, the world has changed. So you finally look up, and now AI is taking over everything. When we have the capacity, here's the thing about it in our community, we have the capacity to learn anything, but don't want to learn anything.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's like, again, go back to we run a school. So we run a school of people that have the capacity to really learn and be a software engineer or a cybersecurity analyst or a data analyst.
Right.
But as soon as it gets hard, they say, man, I'm tapped out. I'm moving on to the next thing. But then you have the capacity to split fans and you know what I'm saying, or the capacity to learn the newest line dance, or the capacity to be all up in entertainment news and knowing what gossip is this and that. And it's like this distraction is going to be the death. I feel like it could be the death of what we're talking about in 2050, where what they say that our income is going to be what, zero? The wealth is going to be zero.
Yeah.
You know, so how do you feel like? Because you wrote a book about switching the algorithm,
bro.
So like, what do you feel like we got to switch to really make us get back on the path where we good? You know what I'm saying?
Man, I think that is the loaded question. And I think that's the crux of all of it. We talked about that when I called you this morning on my walk.
Yeah.
Cause I sent that video, and it was like, how would the devil take over the world right now? Yeah, nobody know it, right? I said to my homeboy, he was like, man, I think she fed that. I don't think chat really said it, so I did it on my own phone. And I asked it, and it gave me the same answer. But when I was reading through it, it was interesting because it said that, I said, but hasn't all these things always been in place? And it said, yeah, so these have always been the things. So attack your mind, attack what's ethical, attack the family. So obviously removing the man out the household, attack the mind. So you constantly feeding information and confusion. You don't know what's right. You blending so many things that everything is gray. You taking God out of everything. And then you do all these things to confuse people, and you do it in the name of empowerment. You do it in the name of liberty. But it said, yeah, these things have always took place, but here's the big difference between now and then. It said back in the day, when you wanted to enslave people, and you did it through shackles, you literally enslaved them, and you fed them, you removed things from them. It was a forceful act. They said the difference is now people are volunteering. People are lining up to be enslaved and don't even realize it because they think they're being liberated. So now what the algorithm is doing is feeding people fake liberation in the name of enslavement, right?
Yeah.
So now the job is easy, but here's the crazy part. It's going so fast now. Nobody has to do anything. Like, it's already in motion, and we are just constantly reaffirming that the algorithm is working. That's how the algorithm learns. So the more and more you click on it and do this, it gets better. You feed it, it gets stronger, it gets smarter. It says, okay, well, Josh, every time I show this, Josh clicks on this, and then he does this, and I need him here, so let me give him more of this and less of this, and it just constantly, it creates this world for you. And because you don't see nothing else, you assume that what you see in this algorithm is everything that exists. It's what feeds your thoughts, your emotions, and and here's the second part. Now, consciously, I can tell you these things, and you can have this conversation. You can say, yo, I gotta stop doing that. The problem is that we got a conscious brain, we have our subconscious brain, right? And I think it was Bob Proctor. He is my guy. Shout out to Bob. But he said essentially 99% of your day is ran by your subconscious mind. You're only thinking consciously about 1% of the day. When you're driving, everything is on autopilot. You rarely have original thoughts. So that means while I'm talking to you and while you're learning about your behavior and what's killing you, it makes sense. But as soon as that conversation ends, you don't even realize you switch back on the autopilot.
Yeah.
And when you're in autopilot, you're not even thinking about what you're doing, what you're seeing. And by the time you see something and do something, it triggers emotions that make you do more.
Yeah.
And it triggers more emotions that make you do more. And then so much time has went by. Now you're feeling guilty because you ain't done shit all day.
Yeah.
And now you need to get away a reprieve from that. So then you go to go get a drink, or you scroll some more, or you watch Netflix to go deeper into the algorithm. And it's just a self-fulfilling loop.
Yeah.
So the key is you got to cut it all off. And you got to develop willpower and discipline, and you got to starve your body of the dopamine, caffeine. It's almost like you would be like a caffeine addict that needs to spend 30 days without drinking coffee, no Red Bulls, no Celsius, none of that, and go through the withdrawals. But we got to be honest. people, because we're dealing with so much shit right now, to go through that transformation and that transition while facing what's going on with Trump and it's so much. It's too, the challenge.
So it's an escape. It's an escape from reality.
It's an escape from reality, and the crazy thing is you can build whatever false reality you want. You got this avatar that's so filtered up, bro. I was talking, I ain't gonna use no names, but look, I take pictures with somebody and they got their phones set with these preset filters and shit, right? So when we took a selfie together, bro, I had on lashes. I'm like, bro, you gotta cut that out, because we have, like, we set these filters and settings that make us see what we want to see.
Yeah.
And what that does is I don't have to actually do the work to become what I want to become. I can just instantaneously do it and see it. And then I can also get the oohs and ahs and the likes and the engagement as if it's real.
Yeah.
And that takes away the work. Well, that takes away the desire to do the work, because I'm getting the same, all I want is the reaction anyway. So I'm getting that without doing the work. So that's killing my willpower. It's killing my discipline. And I'm going deeper and deeper in it. So
here's the thing, and here's how you can hold yourself accountable and really get you some accountability partners around, like switching your algorithm. So me and Quan had a competition probably like about 6 or 7 months ago.
Let me get back to that, bro.
And I said, man, who has the cleanest For You page? You know what I'm saying? Who has the cleanest For You page? Because your For You tells you what you've been consuming. So if you see nothing but cheeks on your For You, that means you've been consuming cheeks all day long.
Nothing but boy shorts and no boy shorts and twerking. Hey, man.
So your For You kind of tells you, okay, what are you consuming? So like I said, hey, man, take a picture of your For You. Send me your For You. You know what I'm saying? See what you looking at. Okay, bro, you slipping, bro. Why you looking at IG models all day long? Like, so you have to really create some accountability around what you're consuming, because it's not going anywhere. You can use it for good. Like, you can use these things for good, but as far as, like, you can use it for bad as well. So it's like, how do you create some accountability around your usage, your scroll time, what you're looking at? Even your phone is smart enough where you can put timers on your IG. You can put timers on some of the things that you're consuming, because it all kind of messes with your energy. You don't know why you're depressed. You don't even know, like, you done saw something that got you feeling all bad. You know what I'm saying? Because you get into, hey, man, I saw this dude with 6-pack abs. Man, I'm looking in the mirror, bro. My belly hanging. Yeah.
Whole time he got steps. He ate supplements. He done went to Dr. Miami.
Hey, he done pumped some abs in there, man. So it's just really about creating, like, some accountability, because the change starts, like, with you, but it's really gonna take more than you to overcome some of the habits that we have. You know what I'm saying? Because this is gonna be some real conversation, because I was talking to Quan about, like, not watching porn. You know what I'm saying? It was like, bro, it was a time where, like, porn was just a escape. It was an escape from reality of, like, bro, man, I'm getting this head. I'm stressed out, bro. You know what I'm saying? So this is the quickest dopamine I could get. And I was just talking to Quan, like, bro, I don't even turn to that no more. Like, like, the way that I deal with the stress of, like, life and things of that nature, I turn it to positive things. So now I'm not jumping in DMs. I'm walking 6 or 7 miles. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm doing 300, 400, 500 push-ups, because I always counterbalance everything with my goals. And if this is not going to get me closer to my goals, then I'm really wasting time. But it took time to really get to that mental space and place where, like, bro, I'm really, really going to tap in. Like, I'm tapping in of making myself a better person, because, but 3 years ago, it was diabolical. It was pure insanity.
But I think you gotta have awareness.
Yeah.
Is the first stage. and you're not gonna do it overnight. Like nothing happens overnight, right? So you gotta have awareness, but then you gotta start developing small habits, transformational habits.
Yeah.
Like when you talked about the porn stuff, it's almost like it's the quickest way to get that fix, but it's also why can't I sit with not getting that fix right now, right?
Yeah.
And that's even like, I told you, but just since we on some real shit right now, like even like as a man, I think it's important if you not married or you're not in a relationship, you to be able to sit with yourself and not have the need to be chasing women and you can't be in the house for a week and you losing your mind. Like if you're losing your mind because you can't be in the house for a week and you gotta respond. Like it's power. Like as a man, it's power in getting to that point. You would think you would do it earlier, but I'm just telling you, it doesn't happen early often where you do not make decisions that's not yours. So to me, like nobody can hit you up, reach out to you, and offer you something, and it just completely throws you off track. Like now you have completely lost your focus, your discipline. When she get to that point where you're able to say, if I choose to do something, it's because I choose to do it. But right now I'm locked in and focused on that. That period of time when you're going through that transition, it kind of eats you alive. You kind of like destroying that old version of you that can never sit in solitude with anything that you had going on. I mean, we both went through series of that, bro. We done been married, had children, started businesses, and every time people, on the outside, things sometimes look great, but every new level requires a whole new level. This transformational unshedding of habits, of ways, and that's why a lot of people finally get some money and they fuck it all up because they never conquered the drug habit. They never conquered the alcohol. Like you ain't drunk in
7 months.
You ain't had a glass of alcohol in 7 months. Yeah. And that's not to say you got to do it, but to do things like that, develop the willpower and the confidence to say, at any given time, I is just doing anything that's not good for me.
Facts.
And that alone is something I think we ought to do.
Yeah, it's really a disciplined man is a dangerous man. And if you can just be disciplined enough to know how to handle your vices, you can be a bad boy. Because I was talking to G earlier today, and I said the number one thing that has taken down empires, dog. The number one thing. It's only been one thing I'm talking about taking down from the Bible days until now, to Shannon Sharp.
I'm just like
it is in between them legs, bro. And I'm talking about like the willpower around coochie, bro, is just different, right? They're gonna just say coochie pie.
But a lot of times is something else, bro. Like let's be real. Like the moments when we have had vices that controlled us, it was never really about the thing or the vice. When you go deeper, I mean, yeah, you love what you love, but it was always a void filling situation, right?
I don't know, man. I'll be wanting to just get out.
I ain't saying. I'm not saying that.
I'm not reflecting on my 11-year-old self, dog.
I'm saying not. But look, but when it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Look, bro, I remember back in the day, bro, I'm 20, I'm 19, 20, I'm driving to Pulaski, bro. I'm on the interstate at 11:30 at night driving 2 hours for 20, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a point in time where you making like life-changing decisions just for 30 minutes of leisure because you haven't developed the capacity, the willpower. Not to say you don't have desire. We all got desires, but it's can you plant that desire for some more purposeful right now? I think that's where all of the change happens with the algorithm and everything. You got to develop that internal discipline. You got to sit with yourself, meditate. Like I remember, so I went through like series of like meditation back in like 2017, 2016, bro. I was meditating 30 minutes. I had this routine. I would meditate 30, 45 minutes a day. And I remember it got so powerful. Like I was literally like taking headaches away and everything just from sitting there and meditating. That's when I thought I was going to be a damn monk at the time. I was like, bro, I want to study Buddhism because it's something powerful happening. Because I had, back before then, I struggled like sitting still and just sitting with myself. But once I started conquering that, it really opened up a lot more. And now that's what I think around that time is when fitness and exercise became my vice. It became like what I did when I was going through stressful situations, because I'm like, I'm not drinking. I don't really smoke. I ain't really into that. Do what you do. But I like to be alert and aware and in control. So I go to the gym, and it might be unhealthy. It might hit an unhealthy limit, right?
Yeah.
And I have to say, okay, I'm going to use it for a season till I settle myself back down, and then I'm going to address and face whatever I got going on. But at the end of that season, I'm just in better shape.
Yeah.
I ain't got an alcohol problem. I ain't went and done nothing. I ain't went and made a baby. I ain't went and had a unhealthy vice that has now has compounded my problems. You know what I'm saying? So I think stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Self-regulation is important.
Yeah, it really is. And you really have to really figure out how to divert that energy.
Yeah.
Because the energy is not going anywhere. But it's just like, how do I trade the energy for something more positive that's going to be better for me? Because then you get yourself in situations where, like Shannon Sharp, for instance, what he's going through right now, where, you know, it could be consensual, but at any moment, she can flip that thing and say, hey, you was doing A, B, C, and D. And then you got the text messages, you know, you on some freaky shit. Hey, baby, I want to choke you. I want to spin your face and all, whatever, you know, crazy stuff you into. But it can immediately turn into something that can ruin your reputation forever.
And you got $100 million deal on the table. They like, hold on real quick.
Hold my beer.
Let's let the dust settle.
That's just, so as men, this is really a conversation as men. Is like, we just really got to sit in with ourselves, and we really got to face some of the demons that run our grown up life. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I was into crazy stuff early on, 12, 13 years old, not supposed to be doing stuff, but it can impact your relationships as a grown person, because if whatever your vice is as a child will be your vice as an adult until you get a stranglehold and say, all right, man, listen, I gotta flip how I deal with distress. I gotta flip how I deal with my lady getting on my nerves, bro. Like, and I don't really want to go cheat on her, but I'm finna get with I'm finna get with Cherokee, and me and Cherokee we finna have a good time. You know,
I'm gonna be a volume. Listen, this is Twin Peaks volume 6. But here's the thing about it though. What I realized, bro, there's a point in time when I did some self-reflection. I'm like, I ain't even consciously choose half of the stuff I do. Like, I never said I want to be on this type of time. A lot of stuff I picked up in the algorithm by people around me, what I saw, the music I listened to, knocking all these habits and characteristics. I'm like, this is how I am. I remember having the conversations as we being transparent, and I was like, man, you know, a lot of people have never had like the concept of a single platonic, I'm faithful relationship. A lot of people like, oh, I got a main chick and I got some side chicks, and that's something that they never
grew up with. That's how I grew up.
Here's the thing: it's not even that they struggle to be faithful. They've never had the concept actually be in their brain. Like, oh wait, so it's it's programmed and it's ingrained and it's influenced and it's music, is everything you see, is the people you come up with, is so much. But I want to flip it real quick before we go too far, and because I think the men is very important.
Yeah.
Now I know I love black women. I love all women. So I just want to preface the conversation. But I did think we talked about the Kanye piece earlier about Kanye got your chick, Instagram influence. What do you think that our black women can do as well? Because I remember I proposed the question to you earlier when I was talking. I said, man, I bet you if people had to make a decision, like if I come home one day and we got this house, we got this family, and I say, you know what? I've decided social media is ruining our family.
Yeah.
We are going to collectively get off all social media for the next 2 years. It's some people that are filed for divorce before they completely get off. Like, some people are so ingrained in the social media.
Yeah.
If they had to choose marriage, social media, they're like, I don't know. And think about that, like that stranglehold that social media has on us, because it literally the first thing before we speak to anybody in the house, we are back on the gram or TikTok. We ain't spoke to nobody. We ain't brushed the teeth. We ain't told the guy. We ain't thought about set no intention. We're like, oh, I'm alive. Did I get a DM? Did I got any new likes?
Yep.
What's going on? Who done posted something? That's the first thing we do. That is the number one sign of a major addiction that needs to be addressed.
No, for sure. And I mean, from a women's standpoint, I think it's worse on women than it is on men, because women, you just think you get a dopamine of like somebody always. It gives you a false illusion of options.
Yeah.
So you just think like your girl, so your chick is, you're in competition with Negroes all across the country
with 2,700 unread DMs that a bad day at the house might have her looking real.
Bad day at the crib where she looking at you like, man,
You know what?
I better start answering these DMs. Look at him. Oh, and so it's a false illusion of options where if a chick is not strong enough, bro, like women are, I don't want no bad emails, and never women have taken the role of men. Like, women got rosters, dog. Like,
Women got
like
rosters.
like, and you would never know, because men are always playing defense.
That's a fact.
That you would never see that your girl is out here getting off.
And I think, because so the other thing, a part of the algorithm, and even you talked about the devil's playbook, a part of that has been to destroy families, then destroy relationships, destroy the concept of destroy the concept of cooperation. Like anything I gotta cooperate, any type of guidelines or structure, it's not good for you. It's holding you back. It's holding you back. It's holding you down. So fight against that for liberation and independence, to the point where you are so independent you ain't got nobody. Like, think about that. We fighting to become so independent. I don't need my mom, I don't need my dad, I don't need no husband, I don't need no wife, I don't need my brothers, I don't need my friends. All right, so now you just at home. You done let everybody know you don't need them.
Yeah.
And you are as lonely and miserable as you've ever been, but as independent as ever. And that was never how we was built to be. And as the reality is everybody needs
Somebody.
No, but there's not a human alive. Because I don't care if you're in business, you need your customers, you need your support, you need you need the government and laws to go in your favor.
Right.
You got so many things you don't control that's gonna control all your money and everything that's going on, while you thinking you got everything under control all by yourself. That's the ego, that's the narcissism in the culture, in the conversation, to say like, oh, I'm good, or I got so many boundaries around anything that's not what I want to hear or not what I'm feeling in that time. So I think we gotta number one, realize we're being manipulated, but at the expense, we are so easy to control when we are isolated and we don't have nobody. That's why the best thing you can do is I love the family thing y'all been doing. I reached out to my family group chat yesterday, and I said, yo, we got to steal the Monday way and start having Sunday dinner on once a week. Like, everybody, brunch, every cousin, everybody.
Like, because you really have to get back to the original origin of all of this.
Yes, sir.
And it doesn't make sense that we are all in the city, but we don't see each other until holidays. That's crazy word, where I'm not kicking it with my nephew, my nieces, or anybody until, like, Christmas time, are we all in the same? Like, no, we got to create a structure where we can get back to actually what really matters, which is family, which is relationships, which is really your friends, and like getting back to the basics of all of this, not the whole internet stuff. And I'm king of internet. I'm king of social media. I'm king to see. I know y'all trying to say, little walk out in front of the mirror pictures. What to do that? With that all. Listen, my drip, I'm swaying, bro. We was at a prison, bro, and we was doing a prison tour. This is a way off task, but we was on a prison tour, and we walking with the warden, just talking about stuff. And Josh was just back there just doing you know how like little kids do like little crossovers and shoot like. This dude just be walking around doing the damn.
I want you to put this in the edit. This is the part I want you to put in the edit. So, hey, do y'all ever glitch at times? Like, do you ever in certain parts of your day where it's like you're in very important conversations, but you just start glitching? So at times, I have glitching moments
Where the fan is getting caught on the computer like. Reboot that little turn the phone off.
Let me set the scene. We are, we run a technology school. We are implementing our program in another prison system. So we are, the meat was kind of slick over.
Yeah.
But, we was heading out and Quan was still talking to the important person that was like, okay, man, we're going to get y'all set up on this day. We still working out some kinks and this and that. So Quan is handling business. I'm in the background like this.
He's in the background golf swinging, trying to do it like
I'm trying to get my swing together.
he said, "You're working at golf swing, but
He said, man, bro, are you working on your golf swing? I said, I'm sorry, man, I'm glitching. No, it's time to head on out, bro. When I clock out, it's the problem. Like, it's certain things, like if I'm talking about business conversation to important meetings to Zoom calls, everything. At a certain point, I clock out. Soon as it's like a certain word you may say or something, I literally check out.
When we first started business, we'll be on calls, and I started learning. I was like, they don't even know Josh is out. Like, because the responses get real short, and they just get to like it get that let's wrap it up. That once I done heard all I need to hear. Ain't no more money being made in this conversation. Moving on.
Hey, bro, the funniest thing. This is totally off topic, but when we first got going, and so when we first got going, and the pivot story, we're gonna really sit down and tell.
I need a whole episode about that, bro.
The pivot story. I think we're gonna do that. The next episode will be about the actual,
Like the
details of the pivot story of how we are and where we are today. So when we first got going, we was really trying to bring like different people. We were literally trying to give away our company at a time.
We don't know better
because we didn't know no better, and we was like, all right, man. Only thing we don't have the money to give them. So we can the best thing we can do is give equity.
Yeah.
So, but we always had a vision for what we wanted to build. So we was talking to this guy, and so we was like, yo, bro, we want you to lead this portion of our business, and we don't really got no bread to pay you, but you just work on, you eat off of what you bring in. And so he was like, okay, yeah, man, sound good, man. I'm just thinking, I just need probably like 50% of the company. I'm looking like, we on the ball, go like 50%. So he was like, yeah, man, I think 50%. And then what we can do is we could schedule another call and we could talk about it. I immediately was like, no, bro. What we'll do is we'll call you.
Don't worry about the next. We said, y'all want to get someone on the calendar today? It's like, nah, what? I'll hit you up. I said, this dude don't know, this is the last conversation you ever going to have. But it's you know what, man? So I think, I'm going to be honest. So people talk a lot about relationships and marriages and even business stuff, but like whoever you start to start a business, especially something as like Pivot was an aggressive idea.
Yeah.
Not even a great idea. Like people like, yeah, I just hit it. Like we did not hit a part of goal, but like Pivot was a challenging idea. It wasn't necessarily the most unique idea. We had a unique lane with it, and we had great time. And so that's one skill of an entrepreneur is the timing. You got to know, you can feel this the time enough, like AI, like hey, this is the AI time. But we had timing on our side, but it's really about having somebody that can ride that wave with you. Because if any point you lost your shit and you couldn't take it no more, you're going to drive me off the deep end or vice versa. And I think a lot of people get real unequally yoked when they try to start a business, or, or you got like a lot of solo people that just don't have nobody. You really, and who posted that, she posted yesterday. Brianna, she posted about entrepreneurs and then how they need to have community, because it's so many, we competing with so many people, and it's really people that's going through the same things that we going through, and we really need to be like tapping in with each other, because if you're not in this space, you don't have a clue. Yeah, if you've never had to make payroll, bro, and you got people that families and marriages and children depend on their paychecks.
Yeah, bro.
And you got thousands, $20,000, $30,000, $100,000 payroll coming up, and you got $500 in the bank.
Yeah.
And you got to figure that out.
Yep.
And you ain't never felt like what that looks like while navigating your own personal life and personal bills, and people thinking you got it. Y'all got this name. Y'all got to have millions by now, don't you?
Yeah, bro.
And you navigating all these things and that type of pressure, and being able to navigate there while still showing up, while still conducting and thinking clearly. Like that's something we'll talk more about.
Let me tell you something. We are going to next week. Yeah, I think next week we're going to shoot an episode on the true Pivot Tech story, because uncut, raw, and real are some of the things that we had to navigate to now building a multi-million-dollar company. Like, so, I mean, it's just so many. When I think about some of the things that we had to navigate. I mean, like 2 years ago, we was in Vegas, you know what I'm saying? And having to do some stuff.
And this is after what made millions, though. So here's the thing about it.
Yes.
But the guy that wrote The Compound Effect, Dan Hardy, he also got a book called The Entrepreneurship Roller Coaster. And he talks about the roller coaster of entrepreneurship, because you going up and you go down, and then once you back at the top, you feel like we made it, and then next thing you know, he's screaming, bro, you on a free fall. Because what happened? Oh, well, it's your first time ever being involved with government, and you didn't realize they don't pay you until they feel like it. And you done went out and bought all this stuff and spent all this stuff, so now your payroll and your expenses and your cash flow out of balance. You got to navigate that. And then one of your instructors just say, right before class start, quit. And you don't have no backfill. You didn't know you need to backfill your instructor base, and now you got to get on there and talk to the class and walk them off a ledge and still look professional, because people ready to run to Facebook and talk about, y'all know what happened. Ain't nigga know, like, so you got to navigate all these things, and you don't know what you know, bro. You don't know what you don't know until you in it. It's so much,
bro. We're gonna give you the real uncut, raw, and real next week. But listen, but we had some real conversation today, and I just want to leave this with any of you that I may be dealing with, like vices that you've been trying to like break and things that you're trying to overcome. And the best thing that you can do is to really work on yourself. Yeah. Like really be intentional about figuring out ways that you can be better every single day. I chose fitness. It may be something else that you may choose, but I chose fitness because it was something that would make me feel better on the outward, inward, and like you could see the physical appearance of, okay, man, you losing weight.
Results.
Yeah, you could see the results. So I chose fitness, but you may choose something else. You may choose like, I'm going to read 3 books this week. Like challenge yourself to be better. That's all I'm saying. Like challenge yourself to be better, whatever it may be, but just know that you can get out of the cycles that you're in. You can get out of the things that you may be going through. You can overcome it. Like this ain't the time to tuck your tail and get in the corner. This ain't the time to take your own life. This ain't the time. Like you're going to overcome whatever you're going through, because at the end of the day, at the blink of a moment,
your situation can change. So that's just want to leave you with that. This is one goal away. Quan, you got anything for?
Yeah, nah, just to double that, man. I think, you know, like you said, the start where you are.
Yeah.
And just find one habit. You are one goal away. Like this, the name of the podcast is really real. Like you're really one goal away from changing your life. And that one goal requires like some new habits, man. And before you worry so much about the relationship you looking for that ain't came, or the business that ain't started, or that your job is getting ready to let people go, work on yourself. Like spend time with self, become a better person, become more valuable where you're irreplaceable. Study AI, study finance, study family. Like take a whole week off and just spend time with your kids and tap out, bro. And you'll get rejuvenated, because I think that's what we miss it, man. It's just that time with self, family, and loved ones. But that's all I got, bro. It's been a dope conversation.
Come on, really dope conversation. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, share. Okay, like, comment, share, all the things, man. We're trying to grow this page. We have a Discord channel called One Goal Away as well, where it's just community building. Again, man, you need community to help you get closer to your goals. So make sure you, again, like, subscribe, comment, and share One Goal Away podcast.
We out, baby.
Right.